I'm live. That's what the screen tells me. Hey, everybody. So, welcome to the roundup for the trade deadline. Um, I guess we'll go over what the trades were. You guys can give me your opinions. I'm going to give you mine, and we'll go from there. So, I'm just going to switch over to the proper window. And there we go. So, I see there's 4 people. So, who's here? Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for coming in. So the trade deadline was like usual, underwhelming. There's a lot of hype, and we got a lot of excitement going into it, and then it never lives up to it. But I thought the Habs did well. They did pretty much what I thought they were going to do, and it went well that way. And so I'm curious as to what you guys think Montreal's trades, what they like, how you felt about them. So they traded away Ilya Kovalchuk last night, Nate Thompson today, and Nick Cousins today. So that's 3 deals. They got back draft picks. I think it's fine. I don't know what you would get anyway as far as any players. You wouldn't get anything exciting back. So draft picks are good. 2 of the draft picks were for next season, and not for this one. The Kovalchuk draft pick, I believe, is for this year. And they have 14 draft picks going into the draft. I think they'll do really well, and I would expect, considering they traded Kovalchuk, they traded Thompson, they traded Cousins. They're not expecting now to make the playoffs. I don't see how they are. So we're looking at probably getting a pretty good draft pick. So that's what I'm looking for from it, and I'm pretty happy with how it went. Hey, Quentin, how's it going? I haven't seen you for a while. Thanks for coming in. Can't see the chats. I don't know why. I see the chat, so I don't know what would be the problem. I'm not sure where you're watching from. So I don't know if I hope the first chat I did today, my computer just decided to turn off. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Just in case, if my computer decides to act up on me again, don't know why, I'll just come right back with a new one. So you just have to be a little patient. Sorry that you can't see the chat, Quentin. I'm really sorry, but I can see your questions or your typing. So just, type it in and I will answer. Wolverine, hey, buddy, thanks for coming in again. It's nice of you. So there's 7 guys in there. So let me know, what do you guys think of the trades for Montreal? Were there any trades you were surprised about? For me, in my mind, the 2 winners, I guess if you're going to give winners for teams, I thought Edmonton did really well. And I thought Carolina did really well. So I think even Florida might have improved their team. I'm not sure. There's differences of opinion on that. But I thought that was good for them, the trade they made. They made a couple of trades. But I think Carolina and Edmonton really came out on top here. My voice is a bit ragged, eh? A lot of videos and stuff. I'm just have a quick drink. It's been a long day. I got to tell you, it's been a long day. Plus, I still have another video. I'm gonna do a video either right after this or later tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. But I'm gonna break it down on a video. I'll go over all the trades and give my opinions if I can, and if not, I'll just tell you what happened. But I'm gonna give my opinions on the trades that I can give an opinion. I don't like to give opinions when I don't know anything. Was not surprised for the Kobe trade. He wants a cup. Hope he gets it with Washington. Listen, I think Montreal offered Kobe a deal. I saw that out there, and he didn't take it. And they moved him to where he wanted. They asked him if he wanted to go to Washington or Boston. They had good deals from both teams, and he wanted to go to Washington. And Bergevin explained that they didn't want to wait to today and see if they can get a second rounder for him and a better deal. They had things that they might have gotten that, but they weren't solid. They could have changed by today. So they took the deal that they had that was solid, and that's what happened. And he wanted to go there. So, and listen, you know what? If by chance Washington doesn't sign him next year and he wants to play another year, which seems like he does, he has a lot of respect for Marc Bergevin. He said that in his interview. And I think Montreal's still a good option for him. So we'll see how it goes over there. The thing is, in Washington, you got Kuznetsov, you got Ovi, you've got there's 2 other Russian players there. So it's going to be like he's going to fit in pretty good. He should anyway. He says a lot of them are friends of his, and I don't know if we'll be able to sign him in the off season or not. We'll see. But I think he'd be open to it. Excuse me. I is it G. Am I surprised that neither Tatar or Petrie got traded? No, I'm not surprised at all. I know there was one video, I think when they lost to Detroit for the 4th time, I said trades are coming, but I was a little frustrated, and I didn't wholly mean Tatar and Petrie. And in all my other videos and every other time I've talked about it, I said I don't think they're going to go. And they didn't. And I'm not surprised at all. Montreal's not leaning that way. They missed the playoffs now. It's going to be 3 years. I think 3 years and 4 out of 5. And I think that if they make those deals for Tatar and Petrie, while yes, in the long run, they're going to be good, I'm not saying they're not. But that means they're going to miss the playoffs again for probably another 2, 3, 4 years till those guys mature and get on the team, and the guys that are already in the pipeline. So I think they didn't want to go that way. They wanted to ice a team. He said it in his interview. He said something to me that was very key that I haven't heard anybody play on. And it's very minor, but I think it's very key in what their thinking is. And he said that they have to put a good team on the ice next year. I might be paraphrasing. Those might not be his exact words, but they were strong. That they have to ice a good team next year. That's their thinking, or that's his thinking. So with that in mind, they weren't going to trade Petrie and Tatar, because if they make those trades, they're not going to ice a good team next year, because they're not going to replace those guys with free agents. It's not going to happen. So that's where they were going. So no, I'm not surprised at all, actually, that they didn't move those guys at all. It makes sense to me, because look, if you're going to move Tatar Petrie, you almost might as well try to move Price and Weber. And I don't know that you can. So since you're kind of stuck with those two guys, if you want to look at it that way, that you're stuck with them, for Price, his contract is big. It's not every team that can handle that contract. So you're limited in where you can go. Almost the same thing with Weber. So if you can't move two guys like that, then you need to try to win quickly, not in 3 years. That's really logical to me. It's not logical to everybody. I get that. Not my friend. I'd like to meet him and be friends with him, but Brian Wild, who I refer to all the time, he's really not upset because he's not a Habs fan. He's a Habs reporter. He's an Oilers fan. There's a difference. You can be a reporter of a team and not be their fan. I didn't understand that before, but I do now. So for him, he's kind of thinking, well, it's a dumb thing they did and all that. But I don't agree with that. I think there's two ways to build hockey teams into championship teams. You can do it through the draft by trading away your assets, getting high picks and all that. You can do it that way, but it's not necessarily a success. And if you want to look at it, Edmonton hasn't won yet doing it that way. Neither has Toronto. And they specifically did that. So it's not happening, right? It doesn't always happen, let me put it that way. And then a lot of teams have won the Cup. They've done it through the draft, through keeping their good players and adding to it. And this is what Montreal is doing. So anybody who says, well, they did nothing, they got rid of, it's not really, they traded away players that they didn't feel had any future here. Now, Kovalchuk might be a difference. Even Scandella might come back. But Cousins and Thompson didn't really have a future here. Easily replaceable guys. And that's where they were going. That's the direction they're going. Now, by the way, in this live stream earlier today, I was talking about who might replace Thompson. And I guess I was right, because they brought up Jake Evans. And I believe it's Bergevin, somebody from the team. I heard them say that is where he'll play. He'll play fourth line, and they'll see how he is doing and how they're going to develop him. I think he's ready for the big club anyway. I think Evans is ready for an NHL team, and he's getting a shot. So this is what happens. You get rid of some fringe guys, and it allows your younger guys who are in the pipeline. The pipeline has guys now. They're developing players now. It's not like it used to be. So with that in mind, that's where they're going. They're going in that direction. They're going to add to the core group of players that they have, and they're going to build towards making the playoffs and then being a contender. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sorry, my eye here is itchy. So anyways, that's my rant. I must say also just a couple of things. There's a link in the description for the my Discord server. So join the Discord, link in the description. When you do that, in how do I want to say that? In alignment, sort of with. You can also, if I miss any of the comments, you can do either two things. You can re-comment, and I will eventually get it in when it plays back, or you can buy a super chat or a super sticker, and I will definitely see it and I will read it out. And that helps to support the channel. And I'm almost at the end of the first month, and I don't know if I'm proud to say or embarrassed to say I earned $50 so far. I'd like to get that to 60 if possible. So a way you help is with the super chat. So enough of that trying to sell my channel. I don't know where I'm going from there. Let's get to what you guys are saying here. I know that Hands Down Hockey is doing a live stream, so I imagine a lot of guys are there, and they'll come over after he's done, or you guys can flip around. So let me see now. MJ, hey MJ, thanks for coming in, buddy. Habs did okay with the draft picks they got. I think so. It was as good as they were going to get with the players they traded, and that's exactly right. You hit it. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. They weren't going to trade the big guys. So the fringe players that they did trade, and I call them fringe players because they're tradable players. And honestly, Nate Thompson wasn't coming back next year. It was very unlikely. And you have to make changes some way. You can't come back with the exact same team and think that that is going to be that much better. You can't. So you have to build around the core. Everybody else is a fringe player. They traded away some fringe players and left the core group plus a couple of guys, and they're going to bring in guys from the Rocket, from I guess that's where they're going to have to bring guys up from. I think it's a good thing. That's all. I just think it's a good thing. Wolverine, this needs to be more consistent. This team plays well on the road, but needs to play better at home. Well, yeah, I mean, those are things they got to work on. Every team has something. They definitely have to work on that. I have to agree with that. And yeah, I just think I'm happy. I didn't want to see Tatar and Petrie traded. I didn't want to go through another 3 years of losing. Look, for me especially, I have a channel, a YouTube channel. There's not a lot of interest when the Habs are losing. That's the honest truth. The interest goes down. You core guys that you come in all the time, you're always going to be there. Like me, I'm always happy with the Habs. They're my team. I love them. I'll always follow them. But listen, I'm telling you the truth. When they lose, the videos do. When they win, the videos do much better. It's just the truth with Montreal. So I didn't want to go through 3 years of losing. I'd love to see them be contending next year. Excitement, that's what I want to see. So as a Habs channel, I definitely want to see that. And as a Habs fan, I also don't want to see 3 more years of losing. Yeah, I know it'll be a better future, but we have a good future. We got some good players. We got good draft picks. They got 14 picks this year, and they're going to make good picks, and I'm happy with that. So let's see. We got 8 people. Come on, guys. I need some more comments. Who's in here? I know there's no game thing to. I might as well announce for you guys, just in case you don't see my preview video for tomorrow. It was my dad's birthday on Sunday. He's 83. He was in the hospital for something not major, and he's home now. I'm going there tomorrow. I'm going to have dinner with him and my sister, and I don't think I'm making it back for the game. Maybe second period, for sure third period. So very likely that tomorrow, yes, I'm going to do a preview, but I'm probably not going to be able to watch the game, and therefore won't do a preview. If I can see at least 2 periods of the game, I'll do a preview. If not, so don't be surprised if there's no review tomorrow. If there's no review tomorrow, don't be surprised. There will be a preview for the game, though. My normal preview. Desjardins Latelec. I love that name. I don't know why. I love the way it just flows, buddy. Thanks for coming in. I think we will pick centers or D? Well, I've always said this about the draft because I'm a believer in that. You don't pick for position. I know that's how they got Kotkaniemi. I get that. In general, you got to pick the best player available. So whoever they are, you got to pick the best player available. You might say for a goalie, I understand goalies might take a little longer till they're picked, unless there's one of those special ones out there. But no, it'll be whoever is best. That's in my opinion. I don't think they're going to target positions because you really shouldn't. Maybe first pick you can. If you have an early enough pick, you have a vast choice. You can target positions. After that, I think it's best player available. But personally, first round as well should be best player available. Wolverine, sorry, but this question is not related to the Habs. Absolutely fine. If you ask me a question that's not related to the Habs, if I can't answer it with to me is an intelligent answer, I will tell you that I don't know anything. So you can always ask me anything, even if it's not related to hockey and you want to ask me something, I'm okay with it. If it's too personal or it's too inappropriate, I won't answer it. But of course, fine. So do I think if the Leafs either miss the playoffs or lose in the first round, is Dubas's job on the line? I would think so. I don't think they'll win the cup. I don't think they're going to win the cup. A miracle. If you go back, maybe after the live stream, if you want to go back and watch another video, I did. I'm going to say it's a month ago, somewhere around a month ago, maybe a little longer. I did another one of those looking ahead to project what the final, the 16 teams that are Rick, my name is Richard. So I only been going by Rick for about 15 years. That's just came out of the blue. So as I was saying, go back to that video. I predict the playoffs teams. That's the words. And I have actually Toronto. I give the top 12 teams in each conference, and I got Toronto as the 12th team in the East. I think they fall out because I think they're going to go in a free fall here. There was a point in round one that it looked like they were going to get Dumba from Minnesota, and because if they got Dumba, that could help with their defense a lot, and I just think they're going to drop out. So I think Dubas's job could be on the line because, listen, he really built this team in a specific way. He fired Babcock to get Keefe because that was the coach that he wanted for this specific team, for that specific coach and all that stuff. So I kind of think that his job has to be on the line. I think they're going to do horrible. Losing that game to Carolina and the Zamboni driver, plus they're not a great team. So I think it's going to be bad for them. I think they're going to be picking not far from Montreal in the draft. So yeah, I think his job could be on the line. I don't know enough about Toronto management and Dubas's strength in that job, to know that maybe he can ride this out or not. But I would have to think with some of the moves he's made, the way he's built the team specifically, that yeah, his job has to be on the line. Is Romanov coming for next season? Desjardins, I think so. It looks that way, but we won't really know till the off season. Once his contract is up in the KHL, we'll know pretty soon after that, and I'm not sure when that is. I think it's in April. We'll know. He'll decide whether he's signing a new contract with them. If he doesn't, he's coming here for sure. And I think it's leaning that way that he's coming here. Where's Teasdale at? Troy, hey, by the way, thanks for coming in. Teasdale hurt, I don't know what knee. He tore the ACL and the MCL in a knee. It's a long-term rehab, so he's rehabbing. He would have been playing in the queue, I think, this season. He would have been playing in the queue, but he's still rehabbing that knee. And ACL and MCL together, at least 6 months. So I don't think it's been 6 months yet. And that's probably one of those injuries that could take a full year or more to fully heal. So yeah, Teasdale is one of those assets or prospects, if you want to say, that we have that, he's long-term injury. And I'm not sure exactly when the I don't know if prognosis is the right word, when it was supposed to, how long it was supposed to take, but I think 6 months. It might have been like one of those 6 to 8 month things. If next year at the deadline, this is from Go Habs Go, by the way. Thanks for coming in. Joey, Kyle, thanks for coming in, guys. If next year at the deadline we're in the same position outside of the playoffs, I hope we become serious sellers. Each year, the return we're going to get on our vets is going to get lower and lower. Yeah, I'm not sure what they might not be, because if they're outside the playoffs and Bergevin's job is on the line, they might not let him do that. So they might do it in the offseason with a new GM. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Joey, we will have good picks for the drafts, and we'll be very strong. 1 year or two, that's for sure. Listen, going into this season after the draft, we knew that we've got some good players coming in. The future looks good. That hasn't changed. So if it was good enough then, just because we missed the playoffs in an injury-filled season that had a lot to do with it, it exposed the lack of depth, yes, but that depth is coming in the form of the developing players, right? So I think our outlook is just as good. We had a bad season. Injuries really affected this season. It's not, they always say you don't use it as an excuse, but it literally and legitimately is an excuse here. But the reason why it affected us so much was the lack of depth. If we had depth like Pittsburgh did, and I don't know, like it was smoke and mirrors with Pittsburgh, I think we would have done a lot better. But it exposed the lack of depth through the organization, and I think that is coming in the form of the young players. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think there's some trades that Bergevin can make to bring players in. And I think that'll happen over the summer. There was a point I heard today, I don't know if it was on the radio or in a video, and it's kind of true, I think, no team really makes those overhauling your team kind of trades at the deadline. No team does. The trade deadline is mostly for teams that know they're not making the playoffs to sell off assets that they might lose for nothing, and for teams that are making a push to get in the playoffs or making a push to win a cup, to pick up guys that can help them. But you don't really overturn your team and rebuild at the trade deadline anyway. So if they're going to do these kind of trades, it'll be the offseason. But considering what Bergevin said, I don't think it's going to happen. Joey, we will no, I read that. Kyle, Bergevin, I appreciate his conviction, but I think he should have done a little more today. But if his draft is solid, I forgive him for that. But he should be fired after next year if the results are the same. Well, Kyle, I mean, I'm mostly in agreement with you. I think that his conviction is there. It's not an easy job. I know we all think we could do better, although I've been told I should be the coach or GM. I can tell you I shouldn't, because I wouldn't know what I'm doing. They know what they're doing a little bit. And every team has trouble. It's a cyclical thing. So it might take the 8 years it's been taking so far with him, and maybe that's how long the cycle is. I don't know. He could have done a little more today. I was hoping that he'd find a left defenseman, a top four guy, or even a backup goalie. That was my hope. Along with, I knew, Kovalchuk had gone. I knew Thompson was going. I figured maybe Wheel, and I said maybe Cousins. I said it many times, and Thompson and Cousins went. I think he did pretty good. I don't think we can, but I mean, he could have done a little better. I wouldn't, I think every GM could have done a little better. But I think the draft will be solid. I think it will. And I think we're going to end up with a top 10 draft pick on our own. So I think that's pretty good. And I think, yes, if he doesn't make the playoffs next year, I know I had said it in some videos that he will not be fired, and I think his job is secure. I don't think that's the case. I've changed my mind on that. I've rethought it, and I think that he needs to make the playoffs to keep his job. So I think that's what will happen. Wolverine, I might get hate for this, mostly by Leafs fans, but I think Dubas overpaid Marner, Nylander, and even Matthews and Tavares. Well, you know what? You won't get hate on this channel because I think that's a fact. I think that's a fact. And if you saw my video, I wrote 2 poems. The one, The Maple Leafs Suck, I say it in there. They spent all that money, but they're still soft as a bunny, and that's because they spent all this money on these guys up front, but their defense isn't good. They have some offensively gifted guys, but they're not really good defensively, and they're not very tough, and they're so. Yeah, I don't think you're saying anything anybody should get mad at. And I'll tell you the truth, Leafs fans are pissed right now. They want Dubas fired. They want everybody. So yeah, I don't think you're going to get any hate over that. MJ, Caulfield should be up next year. I'm going to say this about Caulfield. Yes, he should get some. He should get some Habs time. That's if he doesn't stay in college. I don't think he will either. But I think maybe he should get the 9 games and then down to Laval and mature and develop in Laval before he comes back up. But a taste of the big leagues and then development in Laval. I think we saw with KK and Paling that is probably necessary for almost every draft. A rookie, young guy coming in. The odd time you get a Nick Suzuki. Believe me, this is another reason why I say Nick Suzuki is going to be an elite guy. He's one of those guys, comes in as a rookie and sticks and does well. He'll be the second leading scorer on the team by the end of the year. And those guys don't grow on trees. You don't find them in every guy. So I think we learn our lesson that maybe Caulfield should spend most of the year in the AHL next year and give him a taste of the NHL and then back down. So that's what I think is going to happen. But yeah, I think Caulfield will not do a second year in college. I don't think he will. So that means he has to turn pro. So that's what I think they'll do with him. Aaron, I don't know if I've seen you and talked to you before, then I'm just an idiot old guy that forgets. But thanks for coming in and welcome to the channel. If I haven't welcomed you before, I got 5 out of 6 moves that he was going to make. Right, still kind of pissed off. Nothing else happened, but oh well. I'm interested to know which 5 of 6 you got right. But listen, he said it in his conference, his press conference, that they have to be good next year. They weren't going to move Tatar and Petrie. It wasn't going to happen. So I think when you take that into mind that he wasn't going to move those guys, I don't know what other moves. I think he kept Wheel because you need some depth on the team. They brought up Jake Evans, and it's been said that Jake Evans will take over for Nate Thompson at the 4th line center. So it's not going to be Jordan Wheel, but you need some depth. So they kept Wheel because Wheel can play center. I understand that they traded Cousins because they got some value back for him. And he was only signed for the 1 year, even though he's an RFA. You could force it. I get it. But you got to improve in some areas. So guys need to be moved every year, and you need to bring some of the young guys up. And I think that's what we're going to see. Or there will be moves in the offseason. And to say that there will be moves in the offseason. I don't think they go through the offseason and they do absolutely nothing. So we'll see what happens. Bada bing's in the room. Habs are screwed for another 3 years. I don't agree with that, buddy. I don't. I think I said it before, 1 or 2 seasons. We're going to get new guys coming in. So 2 seasons. And I think they're in the running. They're in the playoffs regularly, and they're in the running. So, no, I don't agree with that. I don't think they needed to trade away everybody to get draft picks. Because if you're saying that, then that's what they would have done, and they would have been garbage for 3 years anyway. So I think that they are right where they should be, and I think they just need to add some pieces. Morgan Burton. Hey, Paling came up from college last year. He did for the 1 game, but you know what? In the end, that might have hurt his development. Coming up that 1 game, doing so well, maybe that hurt his development. Maybe his head got to him, and I don't know. But, yeah, you're right. Paling did that. And I think Caulfield will do that again as well. And then I think, like Paling, he should be in Laval and developing there first. Aaron again, Covey, right? Thompson, right? I said I wanted Cousins and Wheel gone, so you got one of those. And keep Petrie and Tatar. Awesome, dude. I think that's awesome. I don't think I disagree with any of that. But I'll tell you, and you'll probably agree that they needed to keep some depth. So it was, to me, it was either going to be Cousins or Wheel. That's why I thought they might keep Cousins. I kind of think Cousins contributes more, but we'll see. I mean, but they kept Wheel anyway. But that's awesome that you got 5 out of 6, and I'm right there with you. I that's what I thought was going to happen. Yeah, I expected Wheel, but I'm telling you, I think it's to be. They need some depth. Massimo, hey buddy, thanks for coming in again. I think you were. I didn't talk to you before. You were in the first live stream. For this trade deadline, I understand that they are aiming for the future and want to compete next year, but I feel that the Habs will just be in the middle of the pack. Look, it's a possibility. It's going to cost Bergevin his job. That's why I say, listen, anybody who's upset that they didn't do enough here in the at the deadline, the free agency's coming up. You can make trades anywhere in the summer. I mean, it's not over yet. It's over, probably. The moves are over, obviously, for this season, but the moves aren't over for the year. There's probably going to maybe be some moves at the draft. Who knows? He could move up. He could do. Who knows what he could do? So, no, I'm not disappointed. I think they are aiming for the future. I still think they are. You don't have to trade away everybody to get all these draft picks and stuff for the future. And then you're not looking to the future. No, I don't agree with that. Because what if they're doing well and they're looking to be buyers? Well, then they're also looking to the future, right? Either way. So either you're sellers or buyers. And if you're selling off, you could be selling off looking to the future as well. So I don't think that's right. And if I babbled and I was wrong, I apologize. I think they need to compete. The ticket sales are not great this year. They need to put out a good team. They just need to. I don't know why I'm worried about it. My computer shut down in the first live stream earlier today. So just in case that happens again, I'll come back with another one, unless we're right near the end. So if it just happens to go away and it's almost 8:30, I probably won't come back on. But just to warn you guys, and at the same time, what's it called? The Discord. Join the Discord. I got a link down in the description. And at the same time, if I miss any comments, repost them or live or super chat, and that helps also to contribute to the contests and the channel just in general. Trying to get to $60 for the month. February is almost done, so if you want to contribute to that, that's well appreciated. And we'll go from there. Sorry, I always feel weird when I have to mention super chats, but we got to do it. Massimo, they should have a mindset of selling or buying. This is just my opinion. Well, they sold. I mean, they sold. Kovalchuk moved, Scandella moved, Cousins moved, and Thompson moves. That's sellers. And buying, I think the only positions they needed to be buyers for, is if they were able to find that left side defenseman, top 4 that they need, or a backup goalie. Otherwise, I don't see why they're buying anything. I don't see why. They're not going to make a push to the playoffs. I don't think there was anything for them to buy that was going to make a difference here. So I don't see why they would have been buyers. Aaron Marcoux, not sure I've seen you before, but hey, welcome in, buddy. If I have, sorry that my memory's not good enough. To be honest, I don't think they should have got rid of Covey. Bad deal. I wouldn't say bad deal. I would have liked to see them keep Covey. But they did make an offer. Apparently they made an offer to him and he turned it down. So you can't really blame Montreal. At that point, if they've made an offer and he turned it down, they had to deal with him. They had to, because you can get an asset. Otherwise, you're losing something. You got something for nothing. And I've said it, that's fine. You can lose it for nothing, but you're not going to make the playoffs. Let's face it, they're not. So why hang on to a guy that could get you an asset? I think it's a good move. The other Aaron, I honestly want him to trade for first this year if whoever gets it wants to give it up. Okay, I would like that too, but think about it. If you have first pick, and this is say after the lottery, because you don't want to really take a chance before the lottery. If you've got that first pick, are you giving it up? I mean, what kind of a deal do you have to give to get that first pick? it would be such a ridiculous deal that it would kind of screw up your team, and you'd have so many holes elsewhere that getting that first pick and getting Lafreniere, what's the difference? What would be the use? He'd have nobody to play with for the next couple of seasons anyway. So I don't know. I don't see that happening. If the Habs manage to get Lafreniere, I will love this team forever. Yeah, Massimo, I love this team forever anyway, and I would also love to see if they could get Lafreniere. But I'll tell you this: they're trending to getting a good top 10 pick. The closest they can get to one, the better. And we'll see. You never know. Maybe they will win the lottery. You never know. I'd love it. I'm going to jump and scream if they actually win the lottery when that happens. Kyle Brake. I think Mark at times is too passive, which causes him to not land big UFAs. Obviously, taxes in Montreal are tough, but I think he would do himself good by bringing in Romanov and landing a UFA worth talking about. Excuse me for that. But listen, I'm going to tell you what I think about that. It's not easy to get UFAs. There's a lot of wheeling and dealing he does behind the scenes that we know nothing about, and we don't really know how hard it is for him to bring somebody in. So what they do is they started that European Combine. That's where we got Romanov. They're doing things in other ways to get talent that they can't get and attract yet. When they've started to win, when they've started to make the playoffs and they're winning and they're trending up, that's when players will come here. So it's a balancing act. They're finding ways to find talent that'll put them into the top echelons of the league, and then that's when players will start to come here. And that's what happens. And it's not only Montreal, it's the same everywhere. Just that in Montreal, we've got that added problem of taxes that are a problem. In the States, there's some states that have tax differences, but in general, they get better break than they do here. But Quebec just happens to have a bad tax. They got the two taxes, and it's heavy. So, yeah, it's a problem. Bada bing. You know I'll never kick you off the channel for sure if you're gonna put that good stuff. Saint Viator bagels, that was my great grandfather originally. So yeah, that's always the best. Don't mention the other one. Gets me mad, but Saint Viator, love it. Although it's not owned by my family anymore. Aaron, according to Cousins, was given a deal that he didn't accept. That's why he was dealt. Listen, that could be. They offered him a deal. Listen, he was an RFA. If they really wanted to keep him, they could have kept him and then, negotiated. So don't forget, he was an RFA. So I'm not sure where you heard that. So if it wasn't necessarily a really solid source, that might not be correct. Because I think if Habs really wanted to keep him, so he didn't want the deal, but they don't have to deal him because he's an RFA. So I don't know so much that that's correct. And I'm not saying you're not that it isn't. It could be, but I question it because of that. Aaron, then he goes to say he'll shit his pants if we get first pick. I tell you the truth, I might too. Imagine. Honestly, though, first, second, third, I'm going to be just as excited. Honestly, it's a really great draft. First, second, third gets us Drysdale or Byfield or whoever. I don't know how the rating is right now, but I'd like to see this team either get Lafreniere or Drysdale. Those are the two guys I'd like to see get. It's highly unlikely we're going to get Lafreniere, but I think there's a possibility we get Drysdale. If he doesn't go third, I think there's a possibility we're close enough that we might get Drysdale. And Drysdale could be a really big piece for Montreal, mainly because he'll be the best guy available, and he's in that position we should be drafting. Wolverine, LOL, it's good you love this team forever. Most of these fans hate loving their team. They haven't won since 67. I've seen, personally, 8 cups since 67. So, of course. No, listen, I'm a Habs fan forever. If they never made the playoffs again, I'm still going to be a Habs fan because did you hear that sound? Came out of my mouth. This team is in my blood. I say it. cut me and I bleed red, white, and blue because they're in my heart. They'll always be. No other team could ever take its place, ever, for any reason. Randy N., I'm going to have to maybe give you a timeout. You know what? I won't, because it's cool that you got the right name there. No, you know what? I'll tell you why, again, that I don't like them, because they claim something that's a lie and they don't need to claim it. And it's because they're competing still with St. Viator, but it's not owned by my family anymore. So there's no reason for them to have dissed my great grandfather like that. But my great grandfather, this is my claim to fame forever. My great grandfather was the first person in Canada to make bagels and sell them commercially. The first person in Canada to ever do that. Fairmount's claim is full of shit. Point final. That's my rant about bagels. Do I think Bergie will try to sign a restricted free agent like he did with Aho again? I really don't. I don't see why he would. I don't see why he would do that, so I don't think so. How come there was no Cousins interview? Not a big enough trade. I mean, Cousins was a fourth liner, third liner. I'm not sure why my cat is meowing like that. Yeah, so I don't think there was any reason. Covey was very popular here, very popular. I could see that. Thompson also was pretty popular. Cousins wasn't here that long. Thompson wasn't here that long. I don't know. I heard there was a Cousin interview out there. I haven't seen it. I was surprised the Islanders wanted Parise considering his contract. I didn't see, that's one deal I didn't see listed. Parise. So I don't know anything about that deal, but I agree with that. I don't understand that deal. Why they would want him? He's got a lot of term left. He's signed till he's 40. And it's like not big money compared to like Carey Price, but it's Shea Weber money, 7-8 million, something like that. I don't get it. Maybe they know something I don't, or maybe they got something else back, or they're going to get something else back from Minnesota. I don't know. Paul Gee, another mod in the room. Mark could have maybe got a second for Kobe, but he wanted to go to Washington, so he shipped him to the Capitals. Excuse me, guys. Maybe he will resign since he got what he wanted. He said he was open to coming back. I believe that there's a possibility. That's as of what you read and seen in the interviews. Listen. Bergevin said that he had tentative deals for a better pick than Washington gave, but they weren't solid, and he wasn't confident that they wouldn't change today. So he took a solid deal that he had, and it was a place that Kovalchuk wanted to go. He kept a good relationship. Kovalchuk respects him. If Kovalchuk is looking for a team, he definitely will consider Montreal. And I saw it out there that somebody from Montreal said that that if Washington doesn't sign Covey, that they would probably try to sign him. And it makes sense. And I guess it depends on how things break down and at trading deadline or at free agency day, depending on where they are, what happened at the draft, what kind of moves they made. I think if Covey's available, and I think he'll be amenable to coming here, I think they might sign him. But we'll see. Because apparently they offered him a contract that he turned down, but I don't have confirmation of that. So I can't confirm. This is just stuff I've read online. So maybe they didn't offer him a contract, and maybe that didn't happen. And maybe he'll come back. But I would say this: if Washington wins the Cup, I doubt it. I think he'll sign there. Go Habs Go says we're at 19% chance for a top 3 pick right now. Fingers crossed that we land one. Yeah, it's not a great chance, like not a high percentage, but let's fingers crossed that we land one. It would be nice. Randy, did not catch your bagel talk before I posted that. Oops. No, I'm sure you did. That's okay. You got it right. You must have. Sens fan 86 in the room. Ottawa has a high chance for top 3. Ottawa does. Ottawa's got a lot of first-round picks. The thing is with Ottawa, listen, they develop they sort of develop them, but as soon as they have to pay them, they're gone. So they kind of need to do that. If that's something, they got to get all these picks because they need to develop guys to come up and play cheaply, and then as soon as they want money, they're gone. Kind of what they do. But they did well today, I think, for that in that term. Randy's saying he feels that Aho thing. I feel he did the Aho thing because he couldn't get that big name free agent. That's right, that he needed, so he resorted to that. Well, it's part of the problem. I don't think it's his fault that he couldn't get a free agent, a big name. I think it's just that they don't come here right now. Montreal's not winning. They're not in the playoffs. There's no reason to come here. That's what happens, and it's not just Montreal. But the extra taxes that happen when you're here also don't make it more attractive. Wolverine, do I think that Domi will resign? How much do I think Domi will make coming July 1st? Let me see. I would think that they didn't trade him. I think the rumor was out there, so the possibility is out there. But I do think they'll resign him. He's a young guy. He's a good asset. He needs to figure a couple of things out. His consistency, that I think he will. He's only 24. He's got like 3 years till his prime years. What do I think they will sign him for? I'll tell you this. I think that his offseason really cost him a lot, probably in terms of term on the contract and in value of the contract. So I think he would have probably gotten signed for 7 years or 8 if that's the maximum, at probably around 6, 5.5, 6. And now I think you're probably looking at about a 5-year deal for, he's making 3.1 now, I think, or something like that. And I would think probably 4.5 to 5 million. I would think that's where he's going to come in. So I think his bad season really cost him. You don't want to have a really bad season like that, like a difference from the season before. In a contract year, not good. And he is an RFA still, so he's not going to have a ton of choice. And I think it'll be a 5-year deal for about 4.5, 5 million. And then again, I could be really wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. Where was I? Bergie said he had talks about backups. Nothing came of it, obviously. I wonder what these talks were. I would have to think one of them is Pittsburgh. They've got, what's his last name? What's his name? They've got a backup there that when Jarry came up and played lights out, they kept him in the minors. Casey DeSmith. Yeah, I got it. Casey DeSmith is a possibility as a backup. I tell you, for a backup, the Golden Knights just solidified that. They got Robin Lehner. I'm sorry I'm not going over all the trades. That's kind of what it was for. But I'm going to do a video about all the trades and then my thoughts. It's probably better than here. We can just talk about what you guys want to talk about. And we got only about 12 minutes left. So sorry about that. But that Robin Lehner trade for the Golden Knights, I think that was brilliant. Imagine that tandem of Fleury and Lehner. And then if Fleury, he's getting old, you can move on with Lehner for a few seasons. I think that was brilliant on that part, having that. So I would hope the Habs do this. If they don't go out and get like a backup goalie, they get a guy that does what a lot of teams allow you to do, is split the starts. We need a quality goalie like Robin Lehner who can split starts with Price. Maybe you give Price a little bit more games, but basically, a guy that can come in here and play 35 games and maybe 40. And that's what a lot of teams are doing. I think that's the way to go now, is to have 2 very solid goaltenders. So, but I think the Vegas Golden Knights, that was great to get Robin Lehner. And if I'm correct, they didn't give up that much to get him too. So I don't know if Price is ready to have a guy like Lehner yet, but I think you got to go in that direction to get a real quality goalie. The problem with that is that Lehner makes a lot of money. Price is making 10.5, and I think this is the reason why you haven't seen really good goalies coming in as backups. He's been trying to recycle, is because of the cost. If Price was making $6 million, you can go out and get a $4 or $5 million goalie. and do what I'm saying. But when Price is making 10.5, you can't do that. You can't have 15, 16 million going to goaltending. You can't. That's way too much. And this is a problem. So they have to go out and find a quality guy that's a backup, that's not making a lot of money, that they can bring in for around 2 million. And I think that's what you got to do for 2 years. You need to bring him for 2 seasons so that after that's done, you got Primo coming in. And then once Primo's here a couple of seasons, he's ready to take over for Price. To me, that's the plan. That should be the plan if it's not their plan, but that's how I see it. No, I answered that. I'm lost. I thought Ottawa did good in the Pajot deal. I did too, I think. And I'm a little surprised, and a lot of people are, why Pajot already, I think he re-signed already, or they've already come to a basic agreement for a deal. They're extending him for 6 seasons at somewhere around 5 million, I think I heard. It's kind of odd to me. I don't know. I don't know where he fits in on the Islanders exactly, but I mean, he's got to help them. He's a guy that could put up 40 to 50 points, score 25 goals, score 3 or 4 shorthanded. He's a good asset to have, I got to tell you. And they signed him right away. Just I don't know if the Islanders was the team I would have thought that he would go to. But I think, yeah, the return was good. He's not going to get. They're not going to get that 3rd pick. There's a 3rd round pick in 2022 that is on the condition that the Islanders win the cup. Not to say the Islanders won't win the cup; they might, but I doubt they are. And then for the 1st round pick, if it happens to be 1, 2, or 3 pick, the 1st round pick becomes next year's 1st round pick. So, but it's still a good return. And they were going to sign him. Apparently, something happened last night, and they realized they couldn't come to agreement with him, and that's why they traded him. But they were going to sign him. They were hoping to. Hot take. How's it going, buddy? Almost at the end of my my stream. What a busy day. Oh my God, what a busy day. Hey, what do you think about the deadline moves? Your team didn't do that much. Gotta admit, they didn't do that much. I'm a little surprised that they didn't do more than they did, but I imagine there's money restrictions on that side. So we'll see what happens. I know Dubas in his interview said he pretty much took the blame, and we'll see where that goes. So I'm curious to see, John, what you think of what the Leafs did today. Also, I'm curious to think what you think of the Habs moves. Go Habs! Yeah, Ottawa. And by the way, if anybody in the room hasn't subscribed to John at Hot Take Hockey, it's Hot Take Hockey. After my live stream, head over there and subscribe. He's really close to 10,000. Let's help get him there, because I don't think he's hit it yet, but he's really close. And it's a great channel. He's got a lot of great live streams. He's got that Omegle. He's looking for a girlfriend on Omegle, and those are funny. And he's got a lot of good stuff. So head over there. Yeah, head over there now. Go over there. No, like I said, after my live stream. What was I doing? Okay, yeah, Ottawa did great today. Give them 3-4 years, and they're going to have a solid team. Yeah, but for only a little while, because once they have to pay anybody, they trade them. That's the problem. Yes, Aaron Kincaid was a bust. There's no doubt. Wolverine, I can see Kincaid going to the KHL next season. I don't even know if he played good enough for that. I don't see why a KHL team would reach out to him even. I think he's done. I mean, even the they should have put him in the ECHL. He might have had a clause in his contract that they couldn't put him down that low. But I think he needs to go to the ECHL and work his way back up, if anything. Aaron, Leafs fan trying to get a girlfriend. Good luck, buddy. I think he's doing it for the great video idea. And I don't think he's serious. I don't know, but maybe. Hey, you never know where you're going to meet a girl that's the right girl. You never know. And we're hockey guys. You want to meet girls that are into hockey. I think it's kind of brilliant what he's doing with it. NHL hockey news. Hey man, sorry for being late. You're busy. Well, you got a channel. We're all busy. All us channel guys are busy. So don't worry. And I'm 5 more minutes. I'm gonna go. I haven't eaten supper yet on purpose because I wanted to be like super hungry when I eat. For some reason today. I don't know why. I could have eaten before the stream, but so yeah, I'm kind of hungry and I want to get going. Penguins stacked. Yeah, the Penguins did okay. I can't say the Penguins did bad. I kind of thought Carolina and Edmonton did best from my quick analysis of it. When I do my video where I'm gonna go over each trade and give like a 30-second what I think about it. That's coming up soon. Be up by latest tomorrow. And yeah, I just thought that those two teams did kind of the best. No, I know who they got NHL, but I thought they did okay too. I just thought Carolina and Edmonton overall came out best. I thought Edmonton made some good moves. They what's the word I'm looking for? Their problems they addressed. They addressed some of the issues that they had, and I think they did a good job doing it. There's no losers in the deadline. Not exactly true. I'll tell you one deal that was a loser, I think, and it's Tampa Bay. They traded for what's his name, Barclay Goodrow. They gave up a first-round pick for Barclay Goodrow from the I don't even know what, from San Jose, I think. There's not too many deals where I said, "Oh, there's an overpayment." That's an overpayment. Oh my God! And I don't know that much about Goodrow, but I know enough to know that that's not worth a first-round pick. So unless that deal got reported wrongly, that was a bad one to give up. So that's probably the worst one this year. So I don't know. That's a loser, I think. But I don't know the reason why they did it. There was something out about it helps them with their cap issues somehow. I don't know how, but that one's a head scratcher. I was kind of also the Wayne Simons to Buffalo was kind of surprised. I guess Buffalo also figures that they're still in the race, and I guess if Montreal is still in a race, Buffalo is. And I thought, well, why would they be buyers? I didn't get that, but we'll see how that works out. Tampa might be able to win the cup this year. I'm not saying that. I'm not changing that or saying against that. I'm saying the trade for Barclay Goodrow for a first rounder is kind of head scratcher of a deal. I don't get it. Why pay that much? The guy's not worth that much. Who cares? Lightning first round pick, more like second. Maybe true, but still, it's still an overpayment. Either way, it's still a first round pick and it's an overpayment. Hey, Fedge is in the room. Haven't seen you in a couple of streams. Fedge, I'm almost done. It's like a couple of minutes left. So good evening. There was a couple of players traded that I think MB should have went after. I would agree. There was one. What was it? They got a third round pick for somebody that I thought, why didn't he go after him? There might be a reason. I'm looking for it to find out who I thought. Oh God, there was a guy. I think it was a defenseman. Oh my God, why don't I have it here? No, I can't. I don't have it. There was a guy that they got. Someone gave up a third round pick for, and I thought, geez, that if Montreal could have done that. So I'm interested. Fedge, who is it you think that they should have gone after? Hey, Wolverine, thanks a lot. See you. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, I'm going in a couple of minutes anyway. But thanks everybody so far. Anybody's going to be leaving. Thanks for coming in, guys. I really appreciate it. Vancouver showed everyone how to rebuild. I'm not sure of all their deals, so not sure. But I'm interested to. Oh, sorry to hear that, buddy. Sorry, my sympathies. I'm interested to hear. So I'm going to do a video about all the trades. I'm going to go through all the trades and give any comments that I can. If I can't, I'll just report the trade and move on. But if there's something I can say, I will. So do me a favor, Fedge, because I'm going. I've been on an hour. I'm starving. In that video, I really want to hear your comments about what you're just saying about Vancouver and about who Montreal should have gone after. So when I do that video, please comment on that. and I really want to hear about that. That one should be out tomorrow morning, I think. I also want to remind anybody who's here, I'm going to be doing a preview for tomorrow's game. It's Vancouver is in Montreal. I'm not positive I'm going to be able to watch the game. It's my father's birthday was on Sunday, but he was in the hospital, so we didn't get a chance to celebrate. He's home. He's 83. He's home, and I'm going there tomorrow. And they live kind of far from me, so I doubt I can get back to see the beginning of the game. I just don't know. If I can see 2 periods of the game, I will do a review of it. If not, don't be surprised if you don't see a review of the game. It's because I didn't get home to watch it. There will be no pregame show. I guess I forgot when I mentioned it before. So there won't be any pregame show, so don't be surprised because I won't be home. It's for a good reason. It's for my dad's birthday. I think that's a good reason. I don't take games off very often. So just if you're looking for it, guys, remember that that's the reason why I'm not there. Senators, great job too. I think the Senators did good. Yep. Yeah, I don't know where John went. John, if John is still there, I will stay another few minutes if John wants to give me his opinion on how the Maple Leafs did, how Montreal did, and if by chance he saw my poem for my video, I wrote 2 poems, the Maple Leafs suck, what he thinks about it. And I did say at the end of that poem that I apologized and that Maple Leafs fans should just put their fingers in their ears and not listen to that poem. But I'm interested in what John would have to say about it. But I think John is probably as busy as I've been all day. And I'm glad he came in to say hi. That was really nice of him. But I doubt he had time to stick around. So, yeah. So also, once again, even though he's not here, so I'm still going to, if you haven't already subscribed to John at Hot Take Hockey, head on over there and do that. NHL Hockey News Reports is in also. He's trying to get to 200 and onward. Head on over there. Please give him a subscribe and check out his channel. And Scotty's not in, but Open Ice Hits with Scotty 2 Hockey. Please head over on there. Check him out. He's got some really good videos over there. And he needs some subscribers. He's really close to 500. Let's get him over there. And I think with that, I am going to take off and get some supper. So I want to thank everybody that's been in the channel, everybody that watches it on replay or that was in the chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the support. No, there was no super chats, but there's not a lot of guys in my live streams yet. Those things I know will happen. So please, anybody who wants to say you can't afford and all that, I understand that. So don't feel bad about it at all. Stick around. It's only for people who can do it. So I just like to correct myself on that. I didn't mention it before because there's people that told me I would love to do it, but I can't do it. I understand that. I can't do super chats for people, so I don't. And yeah, so I mention it, but it's only for people who are able to. And I think at this point, I'm kind of pumped about after the live stream, and I think I'm babbling a bit. So thanks you guys for putting up with me babbling away over here. That's payment enough for me. Anyways, no, listen, I had a great time. I really love these live streams. I want to thank all you guys that come in all the time. You are the core of this channel. You guys, I value so much. I value all my subscribers, but you guys that are in the channel right now and everybody who's pretty much been in this, there's a few guys that don't always come in, but you guys, I value you so much. Thank you so much. Without you, the channel really is nothing. I could put out videos, but if you guys aren't watching, I don't have very much here. So thank you guys. Again, I'm babbling and I'm going on, so I'm going to say goodbye right now. Thanks and peace out. Have a great night, everybody. Look for my video about the breakdown. Check it out. It should be out soon enough. Tonight or tomorrow. Bye, y'all.